My name is Chimela Ariasaf, and I'm gonna be talking about the week 6 assignment that was about deploying our model, developing it, and deploying it using MLflow, DVC, data, and model versioning, then using Prometheus and Grafana for model monitoring or monitoring what we have developed. As you can see, those are the group names, but since we are doing in the video as an individual, I'm Chimera Ariasaf, and those are my credentials. Then the first slide is all about the MLOps tools overview. The first tool was MLflow, and MLflow, we used MLflow for experiment tracking, model versioning, and deployment. And DVC was mainly for dataset. Like we can say dataset tracking it, and dataset versioning. When it's like whenever you make a change on the dataset, that change has to be reflected in in GitHub, and the way you can do it is using DVC through a command of DVC push, DVC push, DVC commit, DVC pull. You can pull, then you can pull from dataset. Then after making changes, you push back to GitHub. Then we talk of Grafana and Prometheus. These two were mainly used for visualizing and model monitoring, like to monitor the performance. How is the model working after deploying it and deploying it? How is it working? What are the resources consuming? What are the like that? And you can see the interface for Grafana here, how it looks. Even the others, you can see how they look. Then talking about the hands-on tasks. The hands-on tasks, I will start with experiment tracking and model versioning with MLflow. First of all, we had to install MLflow. You can't just start using it without installing its dependencies, its libraries, all that. We had to first install it, and we installed it via command line with a command pip install MLflow. Then after installing it, we had to import its libraries, dependencies into our project. As you can see in the code, import MLflow, we had to import to start using it. Then after that, to run the server, we had to go to the directory of our project. Then we type in MLflow UI on the command line. After typing it in, then it executed and gave us a link, a URL. Then we clicked on it. I clicked on it, and it took me to the browser where the model was running. And after running, you can see on the interface what was running. That's the interface. You can see the model name, the project name, or the experiment name is customer feedback sentiment analysis. There is always that default stuff that displays when it runs. There is that default stuff that displays. Then if your mod has run, it will be showing the name of your project that is running. Then you move to that name as I did. You can see the arrow that is marked that I'm right now on my project, not on the default side. Yeah. Then after that, you can see the run name. The run name is default. You don't set it. It's default. That's the run name they give you. Then you can see in the corner the model. Then you can see the source where the thing is running, like that. Then after that, After that, after mod running, yeah, then we had to bring in DVC to monitor our dataset. We had to also first install pip. We had to first install it via pip, install DVC. This DVC, because we're going to use its libraries and dependencies, we had to first install it. Then after installing it, then we started using it. As you can see in the code, import DVC API. Like, since the code was too much, I was not able to take a snippet of it to put it here on the screen. But after importing it, we had to add the data set to DVC with the command DVC add the name of the data set, the data of our data set. We added it. Then after that, we pushed using the command DVC push. We pushed to the GitHub to push. We push it there. Then after pushing it, you can pull it back, make changes, push it, make changes. The changes we are meaning the version. Remember, the mode you can version it, like you can have version 1, version 2. But when you make changes of to change it to version 2, then you push mania. After pushing, that way you're changing the data set on the GitHub to making it a version 2, like that. Then we talk about the third tool. The third tool was monitoring. Monitoring, we did it using the Prometheus and Grafana. First of all, these ones were just downloaded. I downloaded Prometheus, Grafana, and after downloading them, uh, I will start with Prometheus. Then Prometheus, you had to first go into the directory of that Prometheus. Then there is that file, the Prometheus YML. Then you open that file. After opening it, after opening it, there are some things you change. There is that target name and there is that job name. The job name is your app you're running, where your app is running. Then the target URL. The target URL is that URL that has been deployed, where your module has been deployed and is running. Yeah. Then after that, after configuring those, then you save, then you close the file. Then after closing the file, then you come on the command line on terminal. Then you move to the directory of Prometheus. After moving there, you type in the command Prometheus execute. Then you execute that file. After executing it, you're given a URL. That URL is HTTP something 9090. Then you copy it, you run it into your browser. After running it, it's there. Then we come to Grafana. Grafana is the same story, but this one you don't what you don't configure anything. You just move to the directory. Then after moving there to the directory of your Grafana lab, after moving it there, then on the command line still terminal, yeah, you type the command Grafana dot execute. It will also execute, and it will give you a URL http something 3030. Oh, yeah. Then after that, you copy the URL, you paste it. Then after pasting it there, uh, as I showed you from the previous slide, you do what? After executing it, you you do what? You go to the dashboard. You create a dashboard. Then after creating it, you'll be directed which one to use: Graphite, Prometheus. There is even other stuff. I don't remember it. Then after that, you go to that stuff. You click Prometheus. You choose. You even put the URL. Then after putting it, you execute. You save. Then after saving it, you execute. The moment you execute, your stuff will be displayed. The resources, the memory, the what. It will start visualizing the stuff, monitoring. Yeah. Moving to the next slide, I'll talk about the integration of the challenges. We have the integration of complexity, and integration of complexity was all about integrating all those components as I've talked about. It was really difficult. It was not an easy stuff. It was really difficult, like integrating. integrating Prometheus and Grafana, then ML staff and DVC. It was really a huge task and time consuming. Then I'll talk about the tool compatibility. I had to ensure that the tools between different MLs were compatible, and the infrastructure had to be ready to run those tools. So like I had to install a lot of stuff to make it work. Then I'll talk about training data management, like managing the large volumes of data and ensuring its versioning and reproducibility. Remember, reproducibility is all about when you make changes, you push, make changes, you pull. Like training all that was not an easy. It was complex. And it was a problem for me. Then I'll talk about monitoring setup, like setting up those monitoring tools for both. Like the Prometheus, remember Prometheus and Grafana at the monitoring. Yeah, it was really huge. It was not easy. Setting up those two was not easy, as you can see from the code snippets. You can see. Then the interface here is the Prometheus. After running the project on Prometheus on Grafana, the Grafana dashboard showing, you can see the scope duration, the sample appended, the Flask application Prometheus, then the memory profile, then the head chunks, block loaded, active appenders, then head block disactivity, all that. Even the code snippet shows the target where your project has been deployed. Then the flask here, it's where our application has been enclosed, the job. And then talking about the solutions to the challenges above, like the first challenge of integration complexity, like we had to break down the integration process into smaller steps by reviewing the documentation of each tool. Like we reviewed the documentation. Like if I found a problem and I had to go back the documentation. Well, how is this done? How is this done? Like that. Then I'll talk of conducting through compatibility checks before integrating tools, the integrating program. Like like on each tool, how to integrate them. I had to first conduct, like check, research how is this tool compatible, how to do it, how to integrate it, like that. Then I'll talk about utilizing DVC for version control datasets alongside code. Like I had to establish a clear data version and management practice to ensure reproducibility. Reproducibility is all about versioning on GitHub. You pull and push commit, like that. Then the next solution was leveraging MLflow's deployment capabilities to streamline the deployment process. Like I had to simplify my work. I used the deployment capabilities of MLflow to streamline the deployment process. But the deployment we did it on a local server. It was not a production deployment. It was not a production deployment where we had to use the there was the WSKI server to deploy a model. Then investing time to understand the monitoring tools. We like I had to really give it time. Like read how is everything done, give it time doing research on each tool, the DVC, the MLflow, the Prometheus and Grafana, all that. Moving to the impacts of the practices, what were the impacts on us, the impacts of what we gained. May I take it, what I gained after that exercise. Model deployment efficiency. Model deployment efficiency. I can relate it to I was able to deploy to get the skill of deploying the model efficiency and how the model was working. How was it efficient? How was it able to solve tasks? I think, yeah. Then reproducibility. Reproducibility was all about pulling code on GitHub, then pushing it like that exercise. I was able to to understand that process of pulling, pushing, committing like that. Then scalability and flexibility. Flexibility. I became flexible. Like I can know now. I was able to learn from a range of tools. There are other tools I can use to do deployment, and I was able to get ideas about it. And now I'm flexible. I can be able to use other tools. Then I'll talk of deployment reliability. Deployment reliability. Deployment reliability, like the model that we deployed was reliable. Reliable, it could catch it stuff. It was reliable. Thank you, everyone. I still remain Chimela Areas of. Thank you.